The green water snake, a formidable predator, approaches the vulnerable clutch of jacana eggs.
It begins. The Jacana chick struggles to victory from the world.
Uniquely among birds, it is the male jacana who takes sole responsibility for the chicks, guiding them safely through the wetlands.
Known as the lily trotter, the jacana's long toes distribute its weight, allowing it to glide across the water's surface, followed closely by its young.
The male jacana is known for its distinctive parenting style. Here, the chicks seek shelter beneath his wing.
Watch as the chick expertly maneuvers through the submerged vegetation, briefly surfacing before diving back into the depths.
Here in the tranquil marsh, the adult jaca watches over its brood, their unique feet allowing them to walk effortlessly across the water's surface.
Here we see the adult male jacanas returning to the marsh. Their long legs trail behind them as they deftly
The male jacana carefully gathers aquatic vosho. With exceptionally long toes distributing its weight, the jacana seems to walk on water.
The jacana, sometimes called the Jesus bird for its uncanny ability to walk on water lilies,
The male jacana bears the sole responsibility of nest building. Here, he gathers aquatic vegetation.
The male jacana is responsible for building the nest, meticulously arranging twigs and reeds.
The male jacana is solely responsible for incubation and meticulously adjusts the floating nest.
Day 1. The male jacana is solely responsible for incubating the clutch. Here, the female checks the egg before returning to the marsh.
With specialized long toes, the jacana distributes its weight, walking gracefully atop the lily pads in search of a meal.
The male jacana takes sole responsibility for the nest. Here he meticulously adds another twig before
The male jacana, with his distinctive long toes, approaches the floating nest. It is day 2 of incubation. The striking jacana, known for its unusually long toes, builds its nest directly on the water's surface.
Day 3 of incubation. The male jacana inspects the clutch, carefully turning the eggs before settling in for his shift.
The adult male jacana delicately steps across the floating vegetation, its long toes distribute.
The jacana, sometimes called the Jesus bird, carefully treads across the lily pads, letting out a territorial call. Day 5, and the male jacana settles onto the nest. These remarkable birds rely solely on the father for incubation.
Here we see a clutch carefully guarded in a floating nest.
On day 6, the male jacana approaches the nest to begin his incubation duties. He will remain here until the chicks hatch.
Here we see the male jacana, identifiable by his vibrant plumage, carefully settling onto the floating nest to incubate the clutch.
The male jacana is solely responsible for incubation. He sits tight on the floating nest.
20 days into the cycle, the male remains vigilant on the floating nest, carefully turning the eggs under the cool moonlight.
The jacana's survival is precarious. Tonight, the clutch faces its greatest danger yet, the nocturnal river snake. The moonlit marsh provides little sanctuary. A hungry snake discovers the unguarded nest.
The male jacana returns just in time. With a dramatic display of wings, it drives the nocturnal predator away from the clutch.
The male jacana takes on the sole responsibility of incubation, a rare trait among birds.
Emerging from the egg, the wet chick takes its first look at the world, a testament to the cycle of life in the wetlands.
Emerging from the egg, the jacana chick is immediately faced with its precarious wetland home, taking its first vital steps onto the lotus leaf.
Born with unusually large feet, the newly hatched jacana chick must quickly adapt to the floating nest.
Emerging onto a floating nest, the jacana chick is immediately confronted with the challenge of balance on its oversized feet.
By day 35, the jacana chicks are growing quickly. Here, one briefly surveys its wetland home before settling back down with its siblings.
Day 30. The adult male carefully guides his young.
"40 days after hatching, the jacana father guides his young to the lily pads.
The male jacana is solely responsible for raising the young. Here, he diligently shields.
Knife. The adult male jacana leads his young chick of lily pads.
Here we see the adult male leading the chicks. He will shelter them under his wings, a behavior unique to this species.
Blessed with disproportionately large feet, the jack chick chicks can seemingly walk on water.
With their oversized feet, the jacana chicks learn to navigate the floating vegetation, guided by their vigilant father.
It is day 50, and the jacana chick remains safely hidden by the male's wing, exemplifying a remarkable.
The jacana chicks use their oversized feet to navigate the dense wetland, stepping carefully across the floating lotus leaves. The adult male jacana takes on full parenting duties, meticulously preening while keeping the fluffy chick sheltered beneath its wings.
Known as the Jesus bird for its ability to walk on water lilies, the jacana father keeps a watchful eye over his brood.
Using his wings, the jacana father provides vital shade and protection for his brood, a remarkable
The snake poses an immediate threat, but the male jacana rushes to the defense. These fluffy youngsters must quickly learn to forage, darting between the lily pads in search of small insects.
The adult jacana, easily identified by its distinctive yellow neck and long toes, carefully guides its young across the wetland. The jacana chicks, with their oversized feet, meticulously scour the lotus leaves for insects, a crucial activity for their rapid growth.
Guided by instinct, these tiny jacana chicks carefully traverse the lily pads. Their specialized.
Using its oversized feet for propulsion, the jacana chick dives deep, briefly surfacing for a quick breath before disappearing again into the murky water.
The young Jacana chick takes refuge beneath the lotus leaves. Despite their delicate appearance, they are surprised.
As the dry season approaches, the Jacanas must be vigilant. Predators like this snake pose a constant threat to the young chicks.
Born survivors, the Jacana chicks rely on their large feet to distribute their weight across the lily. The Jacana chick must act quickly to secure its meal. This beetle provides.
Using its specialized long toes, the Jacana chick secures its footing on the lotus leaf, quickly snapping up the unsuspecting insect. The male Jacana is solely responsible for raising the young, diligently sheltering the striped chicks from the sun and potential predators.
The long toes of the Jacana chick allow it to seemingly walk on water, a crucial adaptation in these dense wetlands. The Jacana is unique among birds, as the male takes sole responsibility for raising the young.
These 3 young Jacana chicks navigate the expansive wetland, their long toes perfectly distributing their weight across the lilies.
Using their oversized feet, the Jacana family steps delicately across the lotus leaves, foraging for insects and snails in the shallow water.
These tiny chicks, barely a day old, already possess the distinctive long toes that allow them to walk across the...
The male Jacana, identifiable by his striking plumage and large feet, diligently guides his chicks across the dense. Day 90, the Jacana father leads his chicks through the dense wetland, constantly searching for insects and small aquatic life.
Using those distinctive long toes, the young Jacanas explore their wetland nursery, carefully stepping from leaf to leaf.
Known for their unusually long toes, the Jacana male keeps his brood safe amongst the water lilies, ever vigilant for predators.
The Jacana chicks, often called lily trotters, use their oversized feet to distribute their weight. Day 100. The chicks are growing quickly and spend their days meticulously foraging the water lilies.
Known for their unusually long toes, the Jacana delicately traverses the lily pads, while the chicks stay close, foraging in the shallow water.
Using their oversized feet to distribute weight, the Jacana chicks follow their father across the lily pads in search of insects.
The Jacana must constantly be vigilant. Even the mighty bald eagle poses a threat, as demonstrated by this dramatic. Known for their disproportionately large feet,
It is day 110, and the Jacana father carefully guides his brood across the marsh.
With their remarkably large feet, the adult Jacana treads carefully across the floating vegetation,
Day 120. The adult male jacana stands protectively over the striped chicks. He alone is responsible for their care until they fledge.
The jacana, sometimes known as the Jesus bird, uses its oversized feet.
The jacana, sometimes called the Jesus bird, uses its oversized feet to walk effortlessly across the floating vegetation.
Here we see the male jacana patrolling his territory. His long toes distribute his weight perfectly across the floating vegetation.
The distinctive call of the jacana rings out across the marsh, a vigilant father protecting his territory and future offspring.
Known for their unusually long toes, the jacana skim the surface, searching for floating vegetation.